What's going on, you guys? Just a quick disclaimer, I obviously know that it's no longer October anymore. I am well aware that at the time of putting this out, it is the 21st of November. And I do apologize for the genuine delay, just a lot of stuff was going on. I am really gonna try and start being more on top of my videos, especially if they're related to a certain holiday or theme or whatever. I really am gonna try my best at it. If not, can't all be perfect. So yeah, just a quick disclaimer, guys. I do apologize for the late video. And I will really try my best to be more on top of it. Without further ado, hope y'all enjoy the video.
What happened to Halloween, man? I swear, growing up, that was by far my favorite holiday. I remember my mom would always get these cheap carving kits, and every year I would get so excited. Costumes with the boys were getting wild. I would look forward to it. Out late, super late, even past dark. No parents around it. Nobody was scared. Nobody cared. You just did it. We would bring pillowcases just like everyone else. I'm sure that's not new, and you just fill them as much as you could. I used to run door to door as fast as possible, and we'd do like a speed run and see how fast we could fill up a pillowcase, all with candy that looked like this shit. And now I see kids and they don't really care. Even my own kids, they get excited about the costumes, but I talk to kids all the time. They'll tell me that they just don't care or they're not gonna go trick-or-treating. Blows my mind, like what could be better than that?
Halloween has died, or at least it's not the same as when I was a kid. It is a perfect night out right now. You do not even need a jacket, and no one is out. The only couple of kids I've had trick-or-treating at my house have been toddlers whose parents have brought them, which has been adorable. I'm so happy to see them. But where are the groups of the older kids, the 9, 10, 11 to 14-year-olds who trick-or-treat by themselves? I have not seen one big group of kids without their parents, and I'm concerned. Why are kids choosing not to go out? I loved going out on Halloween night. Me and my friends would plan it out the whole week before, and not one kid. I even went as far to drive around my neighborhood just to see if they were like in other places not coming to my house. But no, it was only the toddlers with the parents that I saw. Is Halloween dying? Is this happening in your neighborhood? I need to know, and I really hope it's not. Like, I get dressed up. Halloween is fun.
Well, I guess it's my turn on this topic. What's good, chat? Welcome back to another video. The final video for my Halloween fun. If you haven't seen the past 3 videos, y'all should definitely go check those out. If you haven't seen the 3 costumes I had, y'all should definitely go check out my TikTok. But like I said, this is my last video for the month. What's currently in front of me is my Halloween costume. I guess by the time this video goes up, the videos for this costume will already be out. So I'm just gonna tell you what I am. I'm supposed to be Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, not the animated version, the live action. And of course, my girl's gonna be Stitch. And this took a while to do, or a while to figure out the best way to do it. And I guess the best thing that I did was just use one of these Posca markers. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this right now while we get into what today's video is. I'm gonna try to be quick because my phone's about to die. So as the title implies to this video, is Halloween dying? And I think the genuine answer is a little. It seems like over the past year and a half, I've been seeing countless TikTok videos on people saying that Halloween is dead, no one's really trick-or-treating no more. And I guess I just wanted to give my own take on the whole concept, give you my opinions and give you some reasons to why, this whole idea of Halloween, not really just Halloween, but holidays in general, are kind of dying. I'll get into the first reason once I start this. Alrighty, so it seems like probably the first reason to why Halloween is dying, at least from what I've seen, this is my personal opinion, inflation. So not too long ago, I think it was 2 days ago, I went to go buy candy for Halloween. And when I tell you that the prices were kind of ridiculous, they were pretty ridiculous. Like, it could easily be a bag of like 55 pieces of candy, it'll be like $10. And then I think to myself, that's not gonna be enough for one night. I think if you're asking me, you probably need at least like what, 300 pieces of candy? And those 300 pieces of candy cost you about 30 flipping dollars. I'm just looking like, wait a minute now, this can't be right. But it's not even just candy, it's also the costumes. If you go anywhere, let's just say Spirit Halloween, it always seems like almost everything has to be a little overpriced. And I love going to Spirit Halloween, but at the same time, $50 for a Cookie Monster onesie is kind of crazy. I know what you're asking. Why didn't you just go on Amazon to find that particular onesie? I did. And same shit. So that didn't really work. And it's a good thing that my costume didn't cost me more than, I'm gonna say 40. I don't know. But it's still kind of outrageous. I mean, I think it's an obvious fact that right behind Christmas, Halloween is probably like one of the most profitable holidays ever. And from a consumer's point of view, I also think it's crazy that we're spending that much money on stuff that will only last you a night. And when you look at like TikTok or Instagram, social media, whatever, certain creators kind of do take pride in doing these like unnecessary huge hauls of like Halloween stuff. Which brings me to another reason, which is overconsumption. Because let's be for real, you already know it's almost that time when it's like late July, early August, and you walk into a Sam's Club or a Walmart and they already are putting out Halloween decorations. And it's like, wait a minute, we're not even there yet. And don't get me wrong, as hyped as I am, I still be thinking to myself, like, it's kind of crazy how we're celebrating something that's not even there yet. But I guess it does kind of keep you excited for what's to come. Which I guess brings me into another reason to why I think Halloween in particular is dying. It's probably just the trends that you see on like social media and whatnot. Because if you're not doing it for the sake of a TikTok video, it means absolutely nothing. And I know I can't really be talking, but also at the same time, take social media away, I would still be doing this stuff regardless. But let's be real, certain things have become a trend because of social media. I mean, when you think about it, you see those like costume haul videos, and you're thinking to yourself, unless you're going to a convention, why do you need 5 different costumes for one night? It doesn't make any sense. Now I understand if you're going to like multiple parties, but if you're not, then there's no point in having that many. And I guess since we're on the topic of like costumes, can we also be real? A lot of the quote unquote costume ideas you find on TikTok are just the most basic shit I've ever seen in my life. It's like, oh no shit, we could just go as Beast Boy and Raven, or we could go as Alvin and the Chipmunks, but like, what about something creative? Which brings me to another fact. Whether it's just costumes or the holiday in general, it always feels like there's really just a lack of effort and creativity in the holiday, which I totally understand. Let's be real. How many Halloween parties do you go to where you often see the same basic ass Halloween costumes? Whether you're a prisoner, a sexy nurse, or sometimes you just throw on a football jersey and say, hey, I'm a football player. There's no creativity in any of that. And then to the girls. I'm probably gonna get hate for this. Let's be real, can we be a little more creative with what we go as for Halloween instead of just throwing on a corset and making something up? Put on a blue corset and say, hey, I'm Dory from Finding Nemo. Don't look like it. And that's not to say you can't use corsets in a very creative way. But it's just like, say if you're going as Spider-Man, why the hell would Spider-Man need a corset? Or say if you're going as like Sailor Moon, why would you really need a corset? And it's like, don't get me wrong, I do see corsets being used in very creative ways. But a lot of the time, like, if a character doesn't need a corset, they don't need a corset. But it's not just the costumes that seem to be like lack of effort. It's just the lack of effort in the holiday itself. I mean, let's be real. I can tell you that right now, almost everybody is probably at Walmart or Target getting last minute Halloween candy. And then again, there's just this last minute trend to begin with. Why does everything have to be like last minute? Then again, I can understand for some people because, you know, like, we are busy a lot of the time, so sometimes we just don't get to certain things. But it kind of sucks though, because like by the time the holiday comes and goes, you're sitting there like, oh wow, you wish you did more. Like, and let's just get one thing out of the way. When no one is saying that you have to go all out for Halloween, I think it would just be nice to know that you still give a shit. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't always have to decorate your house in these like elaborate ways or whatever. Sometimes it could just be as simple as, you know, handing out candy. Or if you're that lazy, you could just put the bowl on the doorstep and be like, hey, take one. Even though nobody does that. Like by the time that you open that door, the candy will probably be gone in 5 minutes. You're thinking to yourself, oh wait, did everyone come to my door in 5 minutes? No, it was that one bastard who said, hey, I'm just gonna put the whole dang thing in the bag. I do feel like what most people don't realize is that, you know who really suffers with this trend of Halloween dying? It's the kids. Before anyone says anything, Halloween is not just for kids, it's for everyone. But a huge chunk of that people that really enjoyed the holiday back then were kids. And it seems like nowadays it's really the adults that still get into Halloween. Well, particularly the early teens, not early teens, the early 20s, because they're the ones that usually do things like, you know, go to haunted houses. They're the ones that put some sort of money down for a costume. They're the ones that are usually out at clubs and bars at these parties. What most people don't realize is that the kids are suffering. They don't really have anything to look forward to in terms of the holiday. Not entirely though. Because another reason I'd want to bring up that I haven't really seen most people talk about in terms of why Halloween is dying, it's also just because it's probably the one holiday where the crime rate just seems to be high. It always seems like there's one person on Halloween that decides to ruin the image or ruin the holiday in general simply just because they want to go out and do something terrible. And that's kind of caused a lot of parents to keep their kids in or keep a tight leash on them, you know, where they can and can't go. Like, I feel like you can search up crimes that happen on Halloween night. You're gonna get like a whole list of the worst crimes ever committed on Halloween. And I think that personally sucks because it always feels like there's that one person that just ruins it for everyone. I think the only story that I am for the most part familiar with in terms of Halloween crimes is obviously the Candyman story. I believe it's because of him this widespread idea of poisoned Halloween candy or razor blades and kids' candies became like a phenomenon. Because no one was really thinking like, there can't possibly be like poisoned Halloween candy. And then you have instances like, you know, the Candyman story, and you're like, oh. And it sucks that Halloween has really had such a bad image, but we're talking about a night that's all about costumes, candies, scares. And I think that the worst thing that happened on Halloween would to be coming back home from trick-or-treating with a whole bag of candy. Your mom inspects it, AI meaning she either eats some of it or throws half of it away. And you sit over here like bummed as hell. Like you didn't just go on an exercise just to come back and not be able to enjoy your rewards. I know that stuff pissed me off. But sadly, I believe it's because of all this crime and all these bad things happening on Halloween that led to one of the most interesting decisions to come out of that. You see, back in the late 90s is when we got Trunk or Treat. In case you've been living under a rock, Trunk or Treat is basically the safer alternative to trick-or-treating, which basically just consists of people coming together in a parking lot, having their trunks up in these like pretty nice decorations, you know, still giving off the Halloween vibe. And kids would go, instead of door to door, trunk to trunk, and obtain candy. Now, truth being told, I personally can understand as to why someone would decide to go trunk or treating instead of regular trick or treating because of what I just said. But looking at those images, I'm not gonna lie, trunk or treat looks so boring. Like there's no joy in it. It's literally just standing in a line, waiting your turn to get candy. And from what I've heard, you can be done within an hour. Yeah, I'm not really with that because truth being told, if I go trick or treating, my ass is up for 3 hours. There's no way I'm just gonna try and get everything done within an hour, because that doesn't sound like fun. And it seems like as of recently, almost every school I turn into, they have their own little trunk or treat thing going on. And I'm not gonna sit here and hate on it, because I understand that, you know, bad things do happen on Halloween, and, you know, we want to keep the kids safe. But like I said, this should not be the definitive way to enjoy Halloween as a child, which is what a lot of people are saying. If you've been on TikTok as of recently, you've definitely seen those videos of people waiting outside their houses with a bucket load of candy and no one showing up. This, of course, has started the whole trend of Halloween is dying. And I do feel like trunk or treat is a huge contributor to this, because in all honesty, it's not like they can't just go trick or treating. They just would rather not risk all the bad things happening. And I think it's understandable. Like, kids should feel safe on Halloween. Parents should allow their kids to go out at night and not have to worry that a white van is gonna just come snatch them up and you never see them again. But the genuine reality is that there have been cases like that. So the invention of trunk or treat is not like it's bad, but it's become, as mentioned, the more popular way of celebrating the Halloween season. But what that does is the people that still want to balls out and, you know, hand people candy, or those that want to, you know, be able to walk around their neighborhood and enjoy the season, they don't really get to do that. Because it's like, what's the point of wasting probably almost $50 on bags of candy? Not even 50. I'd probably say $200 worth of candy just for no one to show up. Like, truth be told, I would also be mad too. If this really became a better way to enjoy Halloween, you will never catch me buying any more Halloween candy anymore. Well, my microphone just died. So that's the reasons why I'm holding y'all in my hand. But I think the final reason to why Halloween is dying, I think it's probably the obvious one, and that of course is the loss of magic. In other words, it's not Halloween that's really dying, it's the magic of Halloween that is dying. Picture this. It's 2006. You're getting ready to go trick-or-treating with your best friend. Y'all decide to dress up as Woody and Buzz from Toy Story. And you went door to door looking at all the amazing decorations, probably running into a few classmates or other friends, and y'all just had like the night of your life. Especially if it's a Friday or Saturday, because you know damn well you're staying up way later than you should. Now, take a look right now. Are you doing any of those things? Do you know anyone that's doing any of those things? If your answer is no, then there's a reason. You see, Halloween will always exist. You will always get those yearly commercials. You will always still have people dressing up in costume, but the feeling, the magic is just not there. And I don't think it's just because we're older. I just think times are changing. So a feeling that was once there, it's not there anymore. And if it's not that, you have those grown folks on TikTok telling you like, oh, you're too old to go trick-or-treating at this point. You're too old to even celebrate Halloween anymore. And to those guys, I say, you know, screw off. I know Halloween's not for everyone. But if there's one thing that I heavily encourage, is to never ruin something for somebody else. Because I'm always hearing things like, oh, Halloween is a Satan holiday. It's the devil's holiday. We shouldn't be celebrating this. Or you're just simply too old to still be enjoying a quote-unquote childish holiday. Sometimes you just have to remember, it's just someone's opinion. Don't take it literal, all right? But when you think about it, for the most part, that feeling is gone. Like, it's been heavily commercialized and popularized. You have people on TikTok saying the same thing, even though I don't always look at TikTok as a reliable source. Full-length articles on why the magic of Halloween is gone, and I think it kind of sucks. As mentioned, you don't have to go all out for Halloween. You don't have to put on the craziest costumes, have the craziest decorations. If you want to keep it simple, you should be able to keep it simple. Because even just the smallest effort is still effort. What's worse is when there's no effort. But the generation after me, which I assume is Gen Alpha, have it the worst. Because nowadays, it's the kids saying they don't want to trick-or-treat anymore because they feel like they're too grown for it. Where do you hear that? From older folk. And you know, kids will imitate whatever they see. Kids are easily impressed by like anything. I do feel bad for those kids that feel like they have to not enjoy certain things simply just because they're quote unquote too old for it. Even though in all honesty, it doesn't really even matter. Like, I'm still gonna be in my 80s watching SpongeBob. It always feels like, you know, if it's not going towards like a greater cause, like in a car, house, whatever, it's just not worth doing. But then again, not everything has to be about the money. Not everything has to be about the future. Sometimes it could just be about the good feeling. Question: when was the last time most of y'all had a good feeling about something? Something that had nothing to do with money. Something that had nothing to do about finally purchasing that new house or whatever. Good feeling like hanging out with friends and doing something stupid. Good feeling like finally completing a level in a video game. Or for me, you know, good feeling like finally landing that skate trick that I've been wanting for fucking months. When was the last time you had that good feeling? And I understand that, you know, in a culture where it's like everything's going up, everyone's trying to like set something for themselves. I think my strongest advice to a lot of y'all is to still enjoy the little things, enjoy life while you're still here. I always like to think that when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not going to think about all the money I saved. I'm going to think about the memories I've created. I always use Halloween as an excuse to have fun, hang out with friends, of course dress up and candy and all that, because, you know what I'm saying? It's a magic that's only felt once a year, kind of like Christmas. I think it's important that everybody, children or adults, should still have that good feeling, even if it's not all the time. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I had a pretty good month. 4 videos, 4 different costumes. I literally finished my final costume, which is my official costume for Halloween. So in a way, I can at least say that I have contributed to Halloween in some way, shape, or form. Because you don't always get to do stuff like this. So when you can, it's like, this is what you're gonna remember. Sometimes contributing to Halloween doesn't always have to look like a crazy decorated house or whatever. Sometimes it's just grabbing some friends, getting in costume, watching a marathon of horror movies, you know? Other times it looks like, you know, being that adult sitting on the porch handing out candy to all the kids of the neighborhood and looking at their costumes like, oh my god, I love your costume. That in a way is still contributing. I honestly have had a great October, in my opinion. And I know it's not even Halloween yet, but I'm honestly looking forward to enjoying my Halloween. And I encourage to everyone that y'all do the same. That is if you are celebrating the holiday. If you're not, then obviously I'm not talking to you. But I genuinely do feel like we should still keep these certain feelings alive, because you don't always get to feel them. It really does break my heart in a way to see all these like videos of, oh, Halloween is dying. Oh, no one came trick-or-treating this year. Like, this was a feeling that I used to feel like all the time when I was younger, and now it's just like a feeling where it's like, oh, here we go again. And I don't want to feel like that. As someone who has a younger sibling, I try to give them the same feeling that I had. I try to give them memories of their own, which is why for the past few years I've been buying my younger sister's Halloween costume, because it's a feeling that I enjoy. Oh, I'm always looking forward to doing something with the kiddies on Halloween. Whether it's just trick-or-treating, whether it's just watching Halloween movies and stuff. Because you only get this feeling like once a year. Although I can understand why everyone has been saying that, oh, Halloween and the holidays in general are dying. Question that I have for most of y'all is, what are y'all doing to keep the spirit alive? Because if your answer is nothing, then yeah, you're kind of the problem here. And I'm not saying it like I'm trying to force you, but if you are someone that does enjoy the holiday, that's probably sitting there complaining, hey, like the feeling of Halloween is gone, then my answer to you guys is, well, do something about it. Because Halloween isn't just for the kids that want to go trick-or-treating. Halloween is for the adults that will probably want an excuse to look cool or sexy and go to a party and just enjoy themselves. Halloween's for everyone at the end of the day. I feel like that's something that most of y'all need to remember. And it doesn't matter how old we get. I feel like there are certain things that we should never forget, or we should still find joy in doing. I guess my message to everyone would probably be to keep your inner child alive. Because I feel like that inner child never goes away. And chances are they need you more than ever. So whether it's partaking in the holidays, whether it's Halloween or Christmas, whether it's watching an old cartoon, whether it's doing something that, you know, keeps that spirit alive, I say go out and do it. Because this whole idea of being mature and sophisticated has never really suited me right at all. I mean, hell, have y'all seen my room? And it's just never going to. I mean, shoot, there's one thing I've learned from the grown-ups movies is that just because you're grown up doesn't mean you've grown up. But I guess I'm going to wrap this up here because I have no idea how much more of my battery I have. In the comments, I want to hear what y'all got planned for Halloween. If y'all have any plans, if y'all don't, what are y'all dressing up as? And did anything that I say in this video like kind of resonate with you? Of course, I want y'all to like, and I definitely want y'all to go check out all the past videos that I've put out for this month of October. And of course, if you haven't seen me on TikTok and you want to see my Lilo costume in its full glory, you definitely got to go over there. I personally hope that I gave most of y'all at least the motivation to go out and be a kid for one night. And of course, you know, if you like what I put out, why not subscribe? But I guess that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to catch y'all in the next video, and I hope everyone has a happy and safe
No rain, no pain.
peace.
Think about it.